In this video, I'm going to give a quick orientation about the WebEx interface and also how to set up the captioning box for a webinar. Now, once you join the meeting, this is going to be pretty much the kind of view that you'll be seeing as an attendee. In the middle, you'll have the content viewer, and this is where the PowerPoint presentations are going to be put into. I just changed the page there. At the bottom of the content viewer, you have full screen. You have a little drop-down menu here that you can select how big you want that viewer to be. Usually I set it to fit in viewer. And another way that you can resize the size of this content viewer is grab the edge here. There's a bar right here. Put your cursor on it, your mouse on it, and you can resize that. And as you notice, along the right-hand side, that increases. So let's talk about that. Along the right-hand side, we have content panels. Primarily, you're going to have a participant panel, media viewer, Q&A, and chat. And you'll find that along the top here. And if you go along the top here, you see a little triangle. Click it. And by clicking that, if you select Manage Panels, you can determine the order of how those panels are going to be arranged for you. And just follow the instructions here, and you can adjust these to your preference. For captioning, if this is a function that you need, we'll be putting the captioning in the media viewer. So let's open that up. There's a little triangle there. And there's the captioning service. Since no one is typing, we're not going to be seeing any typing or into this box right now. If you used this before, you know that you can adjust the properties of the captioning. So I'm going to increase this just a bit more, and there are those little arrows, but as you notice, some of the properties just zoom on by. So let's talk a little bit about how we can adjust the properties next. And actually, these next steps are a way that you can see the captions on the bottom of the PowerPoint slide show. So what you want to do is go back over here, go to 75%, and then select full screen. And a few things are going to happen. Let's talk about that. Now, typically, if someone has a camera or a webcam on, you would see their camera view. And I'm going to turn it on. And there I am. Now, since we're on 75%, this camera view is not going to be in your way. And if you wanted to, you can just put your cursor on it and move it to wherever you want to. If you don't want to see it, and if the presenter has turned off their webcam, you can just go ahead and find this little triangle here on the upper left-hand corner and close out or hide the webcam view. I'll do that now. So we're talking about captioning. If you put your mouse or cursor on the top of this page, you'll see a toolbar float down. Move it away, and it hides again. So what we want to go back to is go to the top where it says Media Viewer, and just like that webcam panel which popped up, you're going to see the captioning box pop up now. I'm going to grab it, bring it down to the bottom here, grab the edge of that and resize it. And now you can see the properties that you can adjust for this captioning. And the main thing is you want to adjust is the font size. 36 to 42 might be a good size. I'm going to select 42. And I'm going to enable the scroll function. And unless told otherwise, I would recommend that you hide the header and hide the chat box. So if someone were talking and the transcriber was typing away, you would see the typing right here along the bottom. And you would also see it, the PowerPoint, right on the same page. You have an option of having the captioning along the right-hand side, and I'll show you that next, how to do that. Remember, float your mouse at the top. This time select Return, and now you can see that the captioning is on the right-hand side. And if you, let's see if this works, we can tell. You can't tell, but I know that it kept the adjustments that we made, which was the 42 size font. So that's another way that you can do that. On the other side of it, if you don't want to see the captioning, well then what you could do is close out the media viewer captioning. And if you want to, you can go down here, select Fit in Viewer and Full Screen, and now you're watching the show or the webinar in full screen mode. And again, if the webcam were enabled, the presenter wanted you to see him or her, you would see that view, and you can now move that to wherever you want. Now it might be in the way, and if it is, you can always just hide it during the presentation. I want to go back to that main user interface. Return. And in the last section, I'm just going to talk a little bit about the Q&A and chat function. I don't know which of the functions it will be using. Let me talk a little bit about the chat box, let's just say. The little triangles there. And if you had a question, you would type your question here, and you would decide who am I going to be sending it to, the panelists only, or all the attendees. If you send it to all attendees, everybody's going to see this. And that's how you would do that, and you would press send. For Q&A, it's kind of similar as to the chat box, but it's going to require something of the host to manage it a little bit more. So I'm going to another camera or another computer and type in a question. And I'm calling myself Renee Laptop. And I'm sending it. And this is what the host would see. Then the host would highlight your question and answer your question. Oops. And I could send it to you privately or make it public. I'm going to send it. And then you would see that answer on your display. And you can conduct it that way. I'm not sure how we'll be doing Q&A during this presentation, but you have an option of conducting the Q&As via chat or this Q&A box. And that pretty much wraps up this presentation. And what will happen is, once you end the meeting, what you would do is go to File, and instead of End the event, you would actually say you're leaving the event. And what happens with WebEx is after every event that you leave, there'll be this automatic default survey that pops up, and I'll show you what that looks like. So this would be something that you would do. Instead of End event, you would actually say Leave event. And then this little survey would pop up, which does not need to be answered at all. Thank you very much.